Rated mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Have you heard of Rumble.com? It's like YouTube, but without big tech censorship. I'm over there at Rumble.com now, and you should be too.
The America we know will no longer exist.
AOC +3. The bikers for Trump, we love them.
True international compression. What am I doing here?
Welcome back to Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Now, we've met some incredible families, but this could be the saddest story we've ever seen.
This is not what it looks like. This is
But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
When I talk to Putin, he's going to straighten out.
2 months ago, man, you lost the only home you ever knew. But thanks to a phone call from your friends, the Wild Hogs, we built you a new one. Stay with me, Buster! Oh.
We love our war. Thanks, America.
Broadcasting from the Big Peach of Atlanta, Georgia. A show unfiltered, unscripted, raw. The Patriot Angle Podcast. Alrighty, guys, welcome. We got Kimberly back on the show again. Welcome back, Kimberly. How's it been?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how's it been? We haven't had you in a while, so I just want to catch up with you and see how everything's going on your neck of the woods. I know you've been very busy. The last time we talked, you're trying to run for office there in the state of California, trying to make some positive changes. How's everything going with that?
Well, it's at a standstill because voting ends in 2 days, June 7th. So what I was going to do is reapply in 2024. I thought about 2023, but I think 2024 is more appropriate to let me, because there's 2 ways you can get in. You can either pay to get in or you can get it by votes. And I want to make sure that I take the time out to get to know everyone around here very thoroughly so that I can take the initiative to grasp the idea of getting more votes. I want them to get to know Kimberly for who Kimberly truly is.
Yeah, and that's important. You want to do it right. You don't want to, kind of like half-ass anything or rush it. You want to do it right. You want to make sure your name gets out there and everything else. So that's good stuff. Good stuff, guys. If you live in the state of California and you're trying to find somebody with message and a political backbone, so to speak, please look at Kimberly Cloud. She has an extreme heart, on her plate, and she wants to deliver for the people. She's getting tired of seeing what California has been going and everything else. And I mean, I'm getting tired of seeing what California is becoming, to be honest with you. So, hopefully we can send this message to, Ice Cream Nancy Pelosi there, and, things will change for the better. But, yeah, I doubt it too, I mean, everybody's wrong except for her, I mean, that's what it seems like, and speaking of wrong, that you even see that with other politicians such as Maxine Waters, where everybody is wrong besides them, they're always right. But, Kimberly, I want to get into this story here with the distribution, warehousing, and factories across America. I seen an article come out of Newsweek about a week ago where there's a lot of disturbance coming out, with we're seeing factories and warehouses literally like catching up in flames. And, we've seen the supply shortages come out and everything else. What's your insights on that? Do you think it's more political narrative, or do you actually think that, what they're saying is actually accurate?
Now, this supply shortage, because I can give you the idea and my concept in a second, but this supply shortage, did it happen? Where did it happen at again?
Well, I'm just saying as a whole. I'm basically
Okay.
saying as a whole, like the whole country is basically, being affected by this. First we've seen the supply chain crisis, where the warehouses and distribution centers, big and small, we're having problems receiving freight, and mainly some of the freight was coming out of the United States, but like 60% of it does come from overseas, such as China and you know Russia and other countries. So uh, I want to touch on that first. Like where a lot of people are questioning, is it political
It's
narrative?
definitely political.
You think so? Yeah, I think it's political narrative as well too. I think it's more of a distraction, because I said this about a couple weeks ago on my show, where our northern neighbor, Canada, they pretty much have the same types of companies up in Canada, same Americanized companies. You have Walmart up there, you have different companies up there, you have fast food restaurants and retail and stuff like that, and they seem to not have the same issues that we're having. So if they receive the same type of product, they should be receiving or having the same type of issue, right? And they're not. So I think it's more political narrative, and then you go to question, well, if they receive the same type of product, how come they're not receiving the same type of issue? Okay. Or
Because
these third,
it's crooked and corrupt.
yeah,
Because everybody have side deals amongst side deals amongst side deals with each other, and they know they do. Something ain't right between Russia and Ukraine, and with all this inflation going up, and with these fires you speak of, it has to be political, because it's no way that these distribution centers, wherever you're talking about, is going up the flames,
yeah,
all of them consecutively, doing it just don't make no sense to me. Everything is politically, strategically done in this world, and people need to wake up to see that everything is strategically done politically. And I
yeah.
was so happy to hear that Nancy Pelosi husband got arrested for DUI. It's
I've
nice
seen
to
that. Yeah.
know that the law is on our hands too.
Yeah, it's nice to see that people with big political power like that, can be looked as a regular citizen and not just a monarchy. You know what I mean? So it's nice to see them actually, you know, uh, taking responsibility for their actions instead of having it, be basically slapped on the wrist like it always has been. So I've seen that. Actually, I've seen that. Breitbart actually reported on that and a few other platforms. But you know, we go to the distribution, right? The supply chains here in America, right? So I'm asking a question here, like how come Canada doesn't receive the same type of issues? Well, is these third party merchants pretty much just basically picking on America and not Canada? I don't think it's that at all. I think it's another pandemic by the left to cause that diversion, right? That distraction, to get more people living in fear, because they really don't have a message. The Democrat Party is losing their message. I've said this many times, Kimberly. They haven't been the same party since JFK. We've seen corruption before with the Democratic Party. We've seen corruption through FDR. I mean, we go back to FDR, and oh my God, talk about corruption! Wow. So
It's very convenient, JFK must have been a very, very great president, because that's probably why he died, because he stood up for what was right,
yeah,
just like Abe Lincoln, you know.
yeah. Oh sure, yeah. It's But here's the next question. Like, is America really truly headed for class warfare? Do you see
Yes.
it like that? Yeah, you
I
see it.
see
Yeah,
it, and it's all on Biden's watch. Biden is going to give us the leftovers. He's going to give Trump, hopefully, if Trump get into office, or maybe his son or whoever is running, they're going to leave leftovers for us to fix.
yeah,
That's like me eating out of a KFC box and then handing you the leftovers.
yeah.
And it's going to be hard to fix
Sure.
right away.
Yeah, yeah. I was talking to a gentleman a couple days ago. The people here on the show, Eric and Alicia, we all decided to go out to dinner, and we decided to take an Uber, because we knew we were going to drink, and we just didn't, want to risk that DUI. And we were talking with this gentleman here in Atlanta in the Uber, and we were discussing the differences between Trump and Biden. And the gentleman happened to grew up on the south side of Atlanta, which is a very, 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 very rough area. It's basically Atlanta's ghetto, or projects, if you want to say it that. And he had basically said, I'm so blessed that we live under this administration. He's doing so much for this country and this and that. And after hearing that, I tried not to chuckle, because I was very, yeah, I did. Yeah. Like, even Eric and Alicia, we were trying not to chuckle and laugh. And I looked at Eric, and Eric basically looked back at me, and, kind of gave me that, that eye coordination type signal. Like, do you want to take this mic, or so I asked the gentleman, I'm like, that's very interesting. Like, how do you feel, that we live better under this administration than the previous? And because I'm always interested in knowing, why they support this administration than the previous one. You know what I mean, Kimberly?
I noticed that okay, so with Obamacare, I don't mean you're going to have disagreements and agreements in politics, whether Democrat or Republican. That's one.
Yeah.
But with the Obamacare, it is way too high. And with the Biden administration, about what they're doing wrong, they strategically put a judge that's African American. They did a couple of other things that were good, but what could they have done more? It should be a distribution center of baby formula, manufacturers distribution center in every state. This should not have had to happen. Now there's 2 to 3 or more babies that have birth defects and died because of this. This is on Biden's watch. This is where he messed up. And then, I judge people on what I see. I saw Nancy Pelosi threaten Trump. I saw it, and nobody cared. Everybody always, because he's so strong, well-spoken, nobody cared that she threatened him, because he threatened to shut down the government. And now I see why. But on Biden's watch, it's just too much.
Yeah, like you mentioned Barack Obama, right? Now, just to name him, right, for an example, like, when we talk about politics now, everything is, that race card, Kimberly, is being thrown in, everything. We're seeing the race card being heavily used today, heavily used. You see it in the military, you see it in politics, you see it in entertainment, whether, it's, something you see on TV. I mean, Christ, you even see it, in sports. They use that race card like heavily. I mean, we got down to talking, like with this gentleman in the Uber, which, not that it has anything to do with it, but I will, he was of Black descent. And he basically said, what has Trump done to the Black community, and I said, he's done wonders. Like, what has he done? He's done so much for the Black community. Are you kidding me? He's taken more people off of food stamps than any other president, both living and deceased. You look at Barack Obama, what has he done? I was like, seriously, seriously, you want to debate this issue? I told him, I said, what has Barack Obama done for his own black community? What has he done? Hasn't done a damn thing. He promised so much. He was going to take people off of food stamps. He was going to take people off of welfare. He was going to try to remove the Section 8 housing program and create better opportunities, right? To make people more successful in life, right? He hasn't done that. You had more black individuals in welfare programs under Obama than any other president. Any other president. Yes, we've seen George W. Bush, with high historic numbers, but I don't think Bush even Bush was a bad president, but I don't think Bush had the numbers that Obama had, with people living in poverty, people living on food stamps and Section 8 housing. I was like, so you want to say about Barack Obama's done so much for this country? Okay, let's go to another one, right? Gas prices, they were high. Kimberly, we're going back. Everything you're seeing now is going back, rolling back to the Obama era. So you mentioned the supply chain, the baby formula, right? There's a new report now coming out that baby formula, the supply will be sparse well into July. That means it's going to get worse. So
that's crazy. That's definitely crazy. And like I was saying, to piggyback off of you, it's like Trump filled up the reserves. Trump was cordial with everybody. Yeah. He kept it very, very simple. He endorses people. He does what he's supposed to do as a president. Obama, he was a I don't know about everything you said, to be honest. I didn't know that, and now that I do know, I know that if people look up the definition between Democrat and Republican, the left wing versus the right wing, they will see that Democrats may help you in a way, but they actually take at least 75% away from you of what goes on in the world. And what I mean by that is you could be doing good as crap, but if you're not endorsing Democrats, they're going to make a way for you to do bad, and I know that sounds crazy, but as soon as I voted for Trump, which I would do again and go through the same situation because I know he's a good president, my life went downhill, and I vouch for that. And, I hate that President Biden, the Democrats just have they just all messed up.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it's this generation. They don't seem to see that. They look at as, what I don't like. They're looking at these two different administrations, whether it's Trump or Biden, and they don't see the embarrassment angle coming out of Biden. Like this gentleman from Uber, right? Which I won't label, right? I didn't agree with the guy, Kimberly, but I'm still going to respect his privacy. I won't give his name on the show. I'm not that type of person. But he even went to say like, oh, like Biden did so much for this country and this and that. I'm like, and he still is. And I'm like, okay, well, what about the inflation? What about the historic grocery prices? I mean, you want to go even further, sir? What about our military? Our great military is back to being depleted again, right? And he's like, what do you mean? And this is a gentleman that clearly doesn't see what's going on in our military, because he did mention that he did serve 20 years in the Army. I was like, well, sir, with all due respect, if you served 20 years in the Army, you would see the significant difference with this modern military that we have in America versus even going back to Obama and Bush era. We have a woke military. I was like, so you're telling me that you agree with transgenderness in our military? And he says, I don't think that that's an issue. I Where my mouth just opened, I'm listening. I'm like, are you kidding
The
me?
only reason I would see that as wrong is because a woman and a man have two different strengths. Let's be honest. A woman is less stronger than a man unless they are on steroids. And if you put a woman that turned into a man on the front lines doing things like not taking a shower for 30 days or whatever, it's going to look weird. It's going to
Yeah,
be weird.
yeah, yeah. Like you mentioned, a man is stronger than a woman. I agree with you that, but let's educate the listeners here. What Kimberly means is, and I think you know what I'm getting here, Kimberly, that a man is more mentally strong than a woman. A man can, when you say strong, do you mean like, physically or just mentally? Because I think it's more mentally, you know?
I agree with you to a certain point with you saying that a man is more stronger physically. And I believe that even though you're right. I'll just put it to you like that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a woman can be as strong as a man physically, depending on the nature of it. But usually, if you look at the basic foundation and base of a woman is much smaller than a man. Men are more masculine and they can take more stuff, emotionally, right? That's what I
I
meant by
agree.
mentally. Yeah, a man can take
I
more stuff
agree.
emotionally. A woman seems to be more emotional. They're just they represent that feminine side because feminine female, right? So it's just their natural state. So when you cross from a man into a woman and you're taking hormones, you're messing up your body. And I'm trying to explain this to the guy in the Uber, and I'm like, sir, you are so wrong on so many different things because when you place a transgender in our military, not only are you opposing a national threat, right, to our country, you are, because if there was ever a major conflict, you're telling me that you and the rest of millions upon millions of Americans in this country would trust that transgender on the front lines defending our liberties and freedoms. You would trust that individual on the front lines trying to defeat the enemy from posing a threat, right? I mean,
How does President Trump feel about it?
well, Trump mentioned that several times. Even in his rallies, his current rallies that he's going across all over the country. Trump is like, that it's an embarrassment. It's a national embarrassment when you allow transgenderness in our military, because it basically you're looking. Well, let me just say it in a long term here, because I know I'm going into this topic heavily here, and I think it needs to be addressed
I
because
agree.
there's a lot of people that don't see a problem with this, and I see a lot. I do. I see a lot. I see something very severe. I see a broken country, a broken society, and through all countries that we have in the world, these are the signs, the early signs, as when you have a country that's broken, literally broken. When you start seeing stuff like wokeness in a country, when you start seeing things that are being allowed just out of plain sight,
To
you
be
know.
honest, I don't mind transgender, but I do mind transgender in the military. I do
Yeah,
mind people that are gay in the military only because I've witnessed on my own accord somebody that was male that was gay, and it doesn't matter the race, but he slit his wrist because he wanted out of the military
yeah,
quicker than just telling them he was gay, and they
yeah,
wouldn't let him out quickly, so he cut his wrist. And this is what you mean when you say emotional factors play a role, depression play a role, and everything
yeah.
else.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you talking about like, mental illness. That's why I don't agree with, transgenderness in our military, because a lot of them suffer a huge amount of mental illness.
from
Let's
being
take, for
picked on.
instance, we're talking about, major foreign conflicts, right? If there was ever a major foreign conflict, God willing, I hope there's never another World War I or World War II. But let's just say if we get into a further conflict with this whole Russia and Ukraine thing, and we have to start sending men and women overseas to protect our country and also protect our allies, right? You have a transgender that's in the infantry unit, okay? You have a man or a woman or an it, whatever you want to call it. This it, okay, decides to go up to its commander and say, "Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, ma'am. I have to excuse myself and head back to base because I have to take a tranquilizer shot because I'm having mood swings right now."
That is so true. You hit the nail right on the nose.
This is what I was trying to explain to the Uber driver, Kimberly, that when you're in war and you have gunfire and cannons blasting and tomahawk missiles and just all that going all over you. Yes, naturally you are going to suffer a huge amount of PTSD. Mainly men and women that come back into the States, they still suffer it, okay? But that's natural. That's natural because you have warfare going all over around you. Can you imagine, Kimberly, a transgender soldier during wartime, okay? Can you imagine the mental estate on top of all that natural stuff going on? Can you imagine that? There's no time for that person to go back to base to take a freaking tranquilizer shot or a pill. That's what I was trying to get to the Uber driver, this former military soldier. And then he looked at me and he says, "Well, there's always time." Always time?
Not in the military.
I said,
He
"No,
knows
sir.
that.
No, sir. A man serving 20 years should know that. There is no
Yeah.
time. There's no time. You do not have that right, not only as
And
a
we do
private
not
citizen."
waste time with our military.
Yeah,
I get what President Trump is saying. Now you got my attention now, because
there's no time.
There is no time.
There's no time. You have to defend this country, and sometimes seconds count. Seconds count. Kimberly, I wanna get into this other topic before I get into this. I got to take a break, but this is a heated topic. I didn't mean to get into the whole military thing, but I want to get into what's going on with the markets. It has a lot to do with what we're talking about in the early discussion of this conversation with distribution centers. What is going to happen with distribution centers and this and that, guys? Be right back with Kimberly.
Look around. The world is changing fast. And while some people hang on to the way things have always been, others are showing us the way they could be. There's a growing movement comprised of those who won't compromise, those with the desire to push things forward coded right into their DNA. They are the creators. They unleash their ideas on die-hard believers as well as the unconvinced. They make something new where there was nothing before, shining a light to reveal what others can't see. So we say to all creators, your time is now to champion fresh ideas, build new movements, and earn what you deserve. From here on out, you define creativity, community, and commerce. We're just here to provide everything you need to make all that you imagine and share it with the world at the speed of culture. This is Spring for Creators.
My name is PJ, and I'm the founder of Archangel Protective Intelligence. This month we have been talking about privacy and surveillance. We, of course, can't have a full discussion about that without talking about the device that spies on you in your very own pocket. I'm, of course, talking about your phone, and while we could talk about many different aspects of it, let's talk about spyware. I noticed some spyware on my phone a little while ago because it came with adware and there were ads popping up on my phone all over the place. But any change in performance could indicate spyware. There are tons of apps that will detect and clean up spyware. You have to be careful about what Wi-Fi you connect to. You have to be careful of getting sketchy links in your email or your text. You used to need to click on these links to be infected. Now you just need to receive them. You don't even need to click. Keeping your system updated does help, but it's like an arms race where one side works on security and the other side keeps working on new ways to break that security.
Guys, if you just catch that last clip that we plugged into the show, thanks, Eric, for plugging it in. Guys, that's a really, really good friend of the show, PJ Agnes of Archangel Protective Intelligence. He's a big intel guy, knows his stuff, and he is a contributor to Koala Media of East Minnesota. So check out his stuff, guys. You can find a lot of his articles that he posts on koalamedia.com. Highly, highly intelligent man. We're going to have him on the show soon, so you're going to want to check that out. Guys, I have on the show again here Kimberly Cloud from the Kimberly Cloud Show, also running for the Senator of California. So please, guys, when you're going to cast that ballot, have Kimberly in your thoughts when you do that, because this country is in such a healing process. Kimberly, I don't know the words to explain it. We're going through some really, really dark times. You know. Yeah. But Elon Musk just came out with this thing here, this article here, which I'll plug in real quick in a moment. Now, Elon Musk is actually saying what's going on with the supply chains, the distribution centers, the factories. We haven't seen this, Kimberly, probably since the 70s with Carter and even Nixon. Biden is literally steering us way back, like back to the 60s and 70s with this whole supply chain. I think these prices are pretty much, we're talking about inflation. These prices are probably worse than the Great Depression. I don't know if you care to give insights on that, but what do you think? What do you think Elon Musk means by all this?
Everything seems like it's getting worse and worse in the world because of we done been set back like decades because of what's been going on with the Biden administration strategically taking their time, dividing and conquering, and allowing things to go on and not taking the necessary steps to crack down on the violence in another way. Because what's going to happen when all of the guns get off the street? It's not going to happen, right? Yeah. It can't happen. When all the guns get out on the street, what's going to happen is then there's going to be people that get depressed that weren't depressed before. It's not about depression. It's about educating people about a little bit more about guns. Yeah.
Yeah, you talk about guns. There was Maxine Waters just the other day, which I can't stand that woman. I don't show hate, but that woman I could not stand. She does not represent the people at all. All she talks about is hate, and we need to get rid of the guns, and we need to get rid of this and that. Folks, you think that by banning guns, whether they're assault rifles or regular, pistols or anything, shotgun for that matter, right? Do you think by banning these guns, do you think that's going to solve the issue? No. Criminals are still going to be able to get these guns, like through the black market, through, different types of avenues. Come on. I mean, we even have a problem, Kimberly, with people just, buying guns that don't even have a damn permit to carry the damn gun. So,
Wow.
like they're going to find ways. They're going to find ways. I mean, certain merchants do screen these people properly, but more screening needs to be processed.
I think that they should have a lie detector test in a screening
Yeah.
kit for people that look suspicious at first and see if their brain is working on a murderer level, because a murderer brain have no emotion. And we done did enough tests to know what a murderer brain look like versus what a non-murderer brain look like. So we should have those systems in place.
Yeah. See, Kimberly has to talk like this, guys, because this is the way people need to understand this. This is how they understand, Kimberly. You can't talk like, intelligent like this to people because they look at you with 5 different heads. You have to talk almost like on their level, like a person that has a murderer brain versus a person that doesn't have a murderer brain. Okay, folks, this is what a sane person looks like, and this is what an insane person looks like. A person that commits murder does not have feelings, does not have thoughts, doesn't have any of that crap. Okay. I said this on Tommy Nation Politics, Kimberly. I think you tuned into that show. You told me that was a really, really good show. And you basically, listen, I don't like putting people in their spot and their place on my show or any other show, but I had to put Tommy in his place. I was like, listen, Tommy. And he happens to reside in Dallas, Texas, which is crazy because this is a leftist that's actually living in a very highly conservative area of Dallas, Texas. And I was on his show and he told me, so Michael, I want your insights on the NRA and what their purpose should be. I said, okay, fine. Do you want me to give insights or do you want me to just break it down real quick? He says, just break it down real quick. I said, well, the NRA has to start screening these people that suffer from mental illness, and then you won't have a gun issue.
I agree.
How would they do that, Michael? They would influence and explain to the people that have licensing and permits to sell these type of guns, whether they're semi-automatic guns or shotguns or even a freaking crossbow, a bow and arrow, for Christ's sakes. Make sure that they screen the individuals. They have their permits, they have their license, they have all this, okay? And every merchant, whether it is an in-store merchant like Walmart or any other, Bass Pro for that matter, make sure that there is a screening process, okay, where they have a licensed therapist sit down with that person for 30 minutes to make sure that they are mentally well. He's like, I think that's going a little far-fetched. I was like,
no, it's not. That's what it's going to come to. It's going to have to come to that, whether we have lie detector tested, screening, or what you just said. It's going to come to that.
I said, we're the only country in the world that has mass shootings at historic highs. No other country in this world, with the exception of maybe third world, that really doesn't believe in laws and procedures, but countries that practice almost the same principles as America does not have as many mass shootings as America does. You go to you might see a mass shooting here and there, like maybe the UK or, anywhere in Eastern Europe for that matter, but not at the numbers that America has, because they screen they're mentally ill. They have better principles, better policies in place. Actually, Kimberly, they actually have people that know what the hell they're doing,
Yeah, go ahead.
But, I'm going to plug this video in here, guys, real quick, and you'll understand exactly what I mean by what Elon Musk, we're talking about marketing, right? Yeah, guys, I kind of, I tippy-toe a lot on this show because I give a lot. I try to give a lot in just a limited time because this country, Kimberly, is very uneducated on a lot, and they need to know what's going on. Check this out, guys.
Elon Musk is among the 5 most followed people on Twitter, so it's no surprise his tweets move markets, from Tesla stock to cryptocurrency and even GameStop. We decoded 6 times Elon Musk's tweets moved the markets. When Musk revealed he'd made an offer for Twitter, Tesla stock lost nearly $40 billion in value in one day. His next tweet announcing the buyout cut 12% off Tesla stock. That's about $100 billion. When Musk tweeted that the deal was on hold, Twitter stock fell by 18% in pre-market trading. Musk owns 17% of Tesla, so all the Twitter news has also hurt his net worth. In all, it has dropped by $49 billion since he first offered to buy Twitter. That would now equate to about a quarter of his total net worth. Musk's political tweets also have an impact. In May, he announced he would no longer vote as a Democrat, but as a Republican. Tesla stock nosedived to its lowest value since August 2021, shaving $12.3 billion off Musk's net worth. And analysts have found that when Musk tweets more, Tesla's stock moves more. Musk lost...
You see what I did there, folks? You see the narrative right there? You see why it's losing base, right, Kimberly?
Yeah, because he went from Democrat to Republican.
Exactly. You doesn't need a rocket scientist to figure that out. When he switched parties, the stock went down. And now there's a new thing that, when he tweets a lot, the stock goes down and this and that. Talk about the market real quick. Why do you think the market is going down, Kimberly?
Well, I want to say that the market is going down because so many, this is a worldwide thing. And Elon Musk is trying to do the best he can. And Elon Musk, I believe, he can see the future. He already mentioned he was a 3,000-year-old vampire. I'm just throwing everything out there I know about him. Yeah. And he can see the future where he knew that Democrats were destroying this country. He knows Democrats are destroying this country. Even like, it's just sickening how the more he talks about it, the more whatever he does in the light of Republican, it seemed like his stocks go down a little bit further.
Yeah, you mentioned a good point. Yeah, like the more he explains why the market is taking a boom and a crash, the more the left gets upset, because Elon is showing something that even the former owner of Twitter, right, didn't explain. I like Elon. I think he's a he's a good businessman. He's not perfect, but
nobody's perfect.
He resembles that. Yeah, he resembles that counterbalance, kind of similar to what Donald Trump. You put Donald Trump, you put Elon Musk, you put Ron DeSantis, you put them all in a basket, man, and you have what America is supposed to look like. What we're seeing right now. He's
definitely not perfect, but he helped with Amazon. I know there's people out there that Bernie Sanders said that they're complaining about that they're underpaid. I understand that. It's a technical glitch with that, and I feel like Elon Musk right now is doing the best that he can. It's not easy as it looks. It's not easy to give people a little bit above minimum wage as it looks, because I even had my own business, and I have my own business and Blue Cloud Cleaning Company, but he has Amazon and Tesla, and it's like so many people just they don't understand how hard it is to run these businesses, and do in due time. Due time, he will get it right. He's not perfect.
Oh, he's not perfect at all. Yeah, he's not perfect. Speaking of your own business, guys, I got to plug this exclusive offer in from Helium 10. For those who do not know who Helium 10 is, guys, it is a huge platform for the e-commerce industry, let alone for small business. If you have a small business out there, guys, you're trying to get your brand, your content, your material out there, right? You want to use platforms such as Amazon or even Walmart.com. Walmart.com has a section with their business platform where it allows people to sell their brand or their material on Walmart. I didn't know that up until 3 days ago, believe it or not.
I didn't know that either.
So, guys, if you go over to Helium 10, right, we have exclusive offer from the show. Go to Helium 10, put that promo code Patriot10, guys, just for using that promo code as a new customer on Helium 10. You're going to get 10% off every single month. It's a little gift from our show to you. So make sure when you sign up on Helium 10, guys, use the promo code Patriot10, and you are going to get 10% off every single month. Also another promo code that we'll plug in here for you guys. For your first month, if you'd like to use this promo code, use Patriot50 and get 50% off your first month. That's right, guys. These promo codes are phenomenal. So check out helium10.com. Mention you heard it on the Patriot Eagle podcast. You're going to get those great promo codes. I know our representative that handles all of our promo links that we've been plugging in left and right on the website, on social media. Kaylee is doing phenomenal. Thank you very much, Kaylee. Hat tip off to you. Great stuff. Very good stuff. So, back to Elon Musk. Do you think that Elon Musk, all right, we talk about social media, Kimberly. Do you think that there's going to be a huge social media shift under Musk?
Yes.
He has that opportunity to change it, to end the restrictions and the shadow banning and their censorship. Do you think he's going to go that route, or do you think that he's going to wait?
He's going to go that route because he don't like to be censored. He just want to be himself without having people say, look, he did this. That's Elon Musk. He's not supposed to do that. No, he's human. It's just a camera right there next to him. It's not the camera fault. It's the people fault. Editing, everything for making him look like this monster. Let's say he was a bad husband. Who cares? Husbands cheat, wives cheat. Things happen in people's lives. Lives are lessons learned.
Sure. I mean, I believe it or not, I hate the censorship too. So, I think he will go that route. And I think it's driving the liberals crazy, with what we're seeing, like how Elon Musk is slowly, and I don't know if you see it, Kimberly, but I'm seeing the restrictions. I'm seeing some of the stuff basically get taken off the platform. Twitter is actually becoming more conservative, believe it or not, than a liberal company. And I never thought I would see Twitter becoming more conservative in my lifetime. I knew it was going to happen eventually, and I know the platforms will go to that avenue, Kimberly, eventually. I mean, even this might sound shocking, but I believe that Instagram and even platforms like Facebook and YouTube will eventually go to a conservative message, but it may not happen in this lifetime, our lifetimes. So that's good stuff,
Yeah. Why do you say that it may not happen in our lifetimes?
Because through every great movement, usually takes a like a working type of phase, right? Everything needs to work into its, appropriate direction. Even great scholars once said that you will have a leader that will show a significant change, and we've seen that under President Trump. So things will happen in their appropriate timelines, but I do think that with great things, it takes that precious appropriate time to get to that time frame. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I mean, I do see that. I do see great things coming out of Twitter. And speaking of conservative platforms, Kimberly, I don't know if you've heard the news, but we just plugged it on the bottom. If you just seen it, guys, we're on True Social. Yeah, doing some good stuff on True Social. I feel like it's another dimension, to be honest with you. I was looking
everywhere is another dimension.
Yeah, I was looking at a post that we put on, and I'm ready, for independent fact checkers to get out of the basement there, to type their little things and, eat their hot pockets in their mommy and daddy's basements and stuff and fact check me on some stupid bullshit. I'm like looking at Eric the other day, and I'm like, Eric, we didn't get fact checked. We didn't get censored. we didn't get shadow banned. He's like, I know, it's great. I was like, oh, are we high? And he's like, no. It just doesn't happen on True Social. So it's good stuff. You like, it puts your mind into shock because you're so used to it on the other dominant platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, you know. So when you see, you know, stuff that doesn't get shadow banned or censored, you're like, whoa, like what's going on? You feel like you're high, you know. So but it's good stuff.
I definitely will be getting on Truth Social today.
Yeah,
I have a lot to do.
Yeah, you don't, you know, guys, if people don't know this, Kimberly, or if you don't know this, when it first started out, you would need an iPhone, you know, to sign up.
That's why I didn't sign up.
Yeah, they just made it available, and I know a lot of people don't know this because it's not being posted or announced on the other social platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, and you know, it's why would they post that? Because they don't want the competitor to you know, to have all this great stuff. So if you go over to your regular browser, whether it's Explorer or Chrome or whatever browser you use, type in True Social. On that browser, you will see the regular sign up window pop up. Okay. And this is, guys, I want to plug this in because I love True Social and I want more people to go over there. Let's put Facebook and Instagram out of business. Let's go to True Social where the truth is there. Go to your browser, type in True Social, sign up. You can sign up right from your browser. You don't need to wait for it to become available on Google Play. So go to your browser, sign up, guys, and I'm telling you, you're not going to get shadow banned or censored. It's great. Like I said, you feel like you're like, you know, high or something on like mushrooms or something. It's great. But Kimberly, good stuff. Before we depart here, because we got some editing to do here. We got to put this on Facebook. I know they're going to be crazy. They're like, he's not doing lives anymore. Like, why? We can't shadow ban him. So I want to get into another offer here, another exclusive offer, guys. For people that may like listening to Amazon Music, we have our podcast on Amazon Music, okay? And I speak kind of negative about Amazon sometimes, but the actual Amazon Music platform has been great to us. They have. Maybe it's different type of people running that, but anyway, guys, if you want to get the first 30 days for free on Amazon, check this out. Go to GetAmazonMusic/Patriot Angle Podcast. You're going to get the first 30 days for free. We'll plug that in right now for you. Yeah, Eric. Yeah, plug that in, buddy. So, yeah, get there it is. Unlimited access to 90 million songs free for 30 days. Guys, you can cancel anytime. Like I said, you're not going to break my heart. You might break Amazon's heart, but not my heart. But there's the link below, getamazonmusic.com/Patriot Angle Podcast. You're going to get 30 days on us. After that, guys, the 30 days is up. You can either do whatever you want to do with it. But, yeah. Kimberly, you got anything here you want to include here before we depart?
They are calibrating gas prices to be in a double digit, so be prepared for that.
I know the gas prices are crazy. I don't know if you've seen on social media. We plugged in a couple of posting. A good friend of ours here on the show. He's a co-host, Soslin Temison, out of Madison, Wisconsin. That comes on my show. You know, like I said, he's my co-host. He told me, he says he's paying almost $6 and change up there in Madison. That's crazy. Diesel prices just came here in Metro Atlanta. We're now paying almost $8 if you're a truck driver here in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah. $7.45 a gallon for diesel. It's crazy.
It is.
Crazy stuff. But guys, go ahead, Kimberly. Go ahead.
Biden, he said something about how he was talking in a speech, and he was talking about the kids that passed away, the 19 children and almost 40 murders that occurred across the United States. And he said, that could have been my kids. No, the heck, it couldn't have been your kids. You know you're president of the United States and you have your kids covered. You know they don't go to the same district as other kids. Stop lying to the people. That's why they're brainwashed now.
Kimberly, the elevator doesn't go to the top floor with him. He's not there. It gets stuck on maybe the second or third. And then you got to call the maintenance guy to unlock the elevator to hopefully get you out of there before you suffocate. But it doesn't go to the top floor with him. This is a guy that once said that kids love rubbing my legs. They would come rub my legs in the summertime and this and that. Oh yeah. This is your president. There's another guy who also said to a group of black people saying that you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden. He's not there. He's delusional. Can you imagine if Donald Trump ever said that in front of a group of black people at a rally?
No.
Oh my God. Nancy Pelosi would be taking the hammer down and, invoked in the 25th. And she would say, he's not well. After she sips like a couple of Mai Tais and tequila, the woman is drunk every time she speaks. How she talks. It's terrible. This is our country. It's turning into a laughing stock and embarrassment. It's terrible stuff. But before I depart here, guys, I want to invite you to head back over to the website and also our audio podcast platforms. We had an episode this past Friday with a gentleman from Tokyo, Japan, that was on the show. A very, very in-depth episode. I highly suggest and recommend that you tune into that episode if you did miss it. Ken Yamarashi. Did I pronounce that right, Eric? Yeah, Ken Yamarashi. He is a former cop and military 4-star general of 30 years that served in our United States military, but now residing in downtown Tokyo, Japan. This man was such an inspiration to have on my show, and he is a huge advocate for the service of liberty. So I highly suggest you tune into that. We may, even Kimberly, actually make that episode an exclusive episode, meaning that we're going to basically take the regular sponsorship ads off of that audio episode and make it a subscribe only episode, because the episode that I had with Mr. Yamarashi was phenomenal. He got into some deep state muck and just stuff that needed to be explained on the show. Really, really good individual, highly intelligent. I love having intelligent people on the show, because it sets the bar, differently. So, yeah. But, we got about another less than a minute, Kimberly. So if you want to plug in any information, including your message, your podcasts, your YouTube channel, and even too, if you'd like to get into your campaign, the floor is yours, ma'am.
Okay, so you can reach me at I have the Kimberly Cloud Show, and you can reach me at whether group or page, the Kimberly Cloud Talk Show, and then you can reach me at Genuinely Michelle Wiggs LLC. Then you can reach me at Blue Cloud Cleaning LLC. And I would like to add that you can also call if you want to set up an appointment to get a podcast interview. You can call me at 4, and I do answer at 443-240-7353. Thank you, Michael, for having me.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor. And please, guys, like I said, please have your thoughts when you go to cast that ballot for Kimberly Cloud. She's running for Senator of the United States of America. And it would be greatly appreciated, guys. We need to put political change, positive change in this country, not negative.
At least from somebody that is genuinely true to herself and work for the Lord Jesus Christ and God. somebody that truly wants to see a difference in this world for everybody, this omniverse, this whole darn universe, omniverse, multiverse, galaxy, solar system. We need to start thinking outside of the box. We have to start with the United States. We have to start with California. We have to start with Santa Maria. Yes. But if we grow slowly, we're only in one universe. We're in the universe. It's not like our planet is foreign. We have to start looking at this type stuff.
Yeah, let's send that message to Gavin Newsom over there in California. I mean, Jesus Christ. But I'm going to do an episode one day just on the state of California because it's a mess over there. It really is. The homeless rate is terrible. The fentanyl crisis over there. I mean, I'm hearing fentanyl is just, it's just out of control. People just ODing. Overdosing on just every type of dangerous drug known to man. But that's good.
Coming? It's illegally coming over from our, borders and stuff,
Oh, yeah, because they have the border wide open. Yeah, there was, according to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris said, we don't have a border problem. And there shouldn't be a wall surrounding our southern border. Oh, okay. So if there shouldn't be a wall surrounding our southern border, how come you have a wall around your $500 million mansion?
Thank you.
Right. What's that wall for? What's that wall for, Nancy?
I don't know. Maybe show.
Yeah. What's Maxine Waters? Why do you have a wall around your what is it? 6.5 million 4,000 square foot mansion? Why do you have a wall around that beautiful home? What is that wall preventing? It's preventing criminals from coming into your home and breaking into your home and taking things that you worked for. Excuse me, no, you didn't work for. Taxpayers worked for 20 plus years. You have that nice little piano.
Exactly.
Yeah. That nice little piano that you have there in your house, Nancy and Maxine, right? That grandstand piano. Yeah, I worked my ass off for that piano, Nancy. And then that $40,000 refrigerator full of custom gelatos that you eat every single day. Yeah, I worked off of that. Kimberly worked off of that. Yeah. That's why you have the wall up there, because the taxpayers paid for it. Yeah. I'm telling you. But thanks very much, Kimberly. I'm a little out of it, as you can see. I've been just busy week for me. So
it's okay.
But thank you very much. And hopefully next time we can have you on the show and we can call you Senator Kimberly Cloud. Wouldn't that be something, huh? That would be.
It would.
I would have to put that on my show. On the show today, Senator Kimberly Cloud. That would be a nice.
Keep working at it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Patriot Unfiltered. You just heard an episode of the Patriot Angle Podcast, an unfiltered Patriot Productions. Please follow us on Facebook at the Patriot Angle Podcast and Instagram at Patriot_Angle_unfiltered. Also, you can hear every episode on Amazon Music, Audible, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcast. You can also check out our website, PatriotAnglePodcast.com, and also our unfiltered merchandise, PatriotUnfiltered.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.